A Step into the Past Volume 14 Chapter 6 Book 14 Chapter 06 Campfire Banquet. The east shore of River Jing is an unending wilderness for hundreds of miles. With occasional hills, thick forests, and small streams, it is a hunter's dream come true. Even with 10,000 hunters threading on the plains, they looked like small animals from the bird's eye view. In an instant, everyone was split apart as they began hunting for animals. Xiao Pan's hunting party is the largest as it includes Zhu Ji's party as well as other members of the royal family. They did not participate in the hunt directly but were leisurely standing near the river bank and admiring the activities. Lu Bue led Xiang Xiaolong up a small hill and they looked down at the hunting dogs chasing and barking at a prey while Xiao Pan, Wang Ben, the Chongping brothers and a group of palace guards chasing behind them. He joyfully remarked, "I have spoken to Empress. During the campfire banquet later, she will personally announce the marriage of you and Niang Rong." Xiang Xiaolong is full of admiration at his convincing acting skills. Lu Bue asked, "You should be agreeable, right?" Xiang Xiaolong plainly replied, "I am only concerned that I am not good enough for her." Lu Bue chortled, "I have always been appreciative of your humbleness. When I move into the new premier residence, I will see to the marriage immediately and fulfill one of my greatest wishes." Xiang Xiaolong secretly sniggered that he will instead have a big headache when that really happens. Visioning their future troubles, he was jumping for joy inside. Lu Bue asked again, "Has there been any news about Lord Jailing?" Xiang Xiaolong pretended to be worried, "I have sent someone to spy on him but we have yet to detect any ambushing army. We may have been overly suspicious." Lu Bue agreed, "Well, it is better to be safe than sorry. I shall put you fully in charge of this." He then softly sighed, "Xiaolong, are you still suspicious of my sincerity?" Xiang Xiaolong was caught unaware and he was speechless for a while. He stuttered, "Why does Premier Lu say so?" Lu Bue bitterly smiled, "Xiaolong need not deceive me. When Zongzi invited you for drinks at Drunken Wind Brothel last night, he saw you discarding the wine Dan Mimi poured for you. Ai. Do you think the wine is poisonous?" Xiang Xiaolong took his hat off him. He knew he must give a reply and smiled bitterly in return, "As what Premier Lu says, it is better to be safe than sorry." They exchanged a glance and burst out laughing at the same time. Lu Bue clapped Xiang Xiaolong's shoulder and mentioned between his laughs, "When Niang Rong marries you, you will be my son-in-law. By then, you can drink all the wine you want with peace of mind." Xiang Xiaolong has to acknowledge his prowess. Lu Bue's words is trying to convince him that he has been overly suspicious with Dan Mimi and gain his loyalty even at the last moment before his death. This brainwave must have come from Moao to prevent Xiang Xiaolong from working with Su Xian to attack them before the third hunting day. Thinking about this, he laughed happily. Under the shimmering stars and the bright moon, the camp is in a celebratory mood. The animals that were hunted were being promptly roasted over fire spits. Different campfires scattered around the campsite has made the entire camping ground glowing with a beautiful red. The 10 best hunters have been invited to the royal tent to be rewarded by Zhu Ji and Xiao Pan and will join their table at the campfire banquet. Wu Tingfang is the best hunter among the girls and is busying cleaning her catch with Zhao Ji and the Tian sisters. Ji Yanran and Qin Qing are seated on one side and are in deep conversation. Xiang Xiaolong and the Lord Chongping brothers have just come back from their patrol. They reminded the soldiers not to neglect their duties despite the festive mood and keep their guard up at all times. Teng Yi and Jing Jun came back shortly after them. Both men had just led the Wu family elite army into battle positions and they are now spying on Lord Jailing's men. Xiang Xiaolong can finally relieve this burden of ambush from his mind. After some discussion with them, he left to find Su Xian. Just as he crossed the defending gates, he was detained by Ying Ying. This lass has an unfriendly expression on her face and she coldly stated, "Xiang Xiaolong, come with me." Puzzled, he followed her down the slope and they advanced deeply into a group of tents. Compared to the lights and sounds of the assembly grounds, they are now in a place where it is much more quiet, dark and serene. Ying Ying leaned against a tent and stared at him viciously. Her long hair was let down and it is still wet in some areas. She carries a fragrance that is associated with a woman's scent after a shower. Needless to say, she must have had a nice shower in the nearby river. Out of a sudden, his mind is filled with various questions. Since he got to know Ying Ying, he has been troubled with her and it is hard to establish their relationship properly. Moreover, he was busy with work encountering Lu Bue. Thus, he did not spend much time to think about her. Now that Moao is going to die, he has some room to think about the future. Since he is opposing Lu Bue, he should ruthlessly snatch her from the hands of Guanzongzi. Additionally, it is common for men in this era to have multiple wives. After all, she is a rare beauty too. When they are married, he will share a closer relationship with the Lord Chongping brothers. The Qin military and the royal family will see him as their own family. At the same time, it will deal a blow to Guanzongzi. If Liu Gong is not going to die, the Lord Chongping brothers will keep their jobs. Guanzongzi will then try to woo Ying Ying to secure his position in Xianyang City. For Liu Danner, Liu Gong has opposed their relationship and Guanzongzi cannot disregard this powerful general. Even if Zhu Ji interferes, Liu Gong will not budge. Ying Ying, on the other hand, does not have this issue. Whoever marries Ying Ying will only stand to benefit. Thinking about this, he cannot help but smile bitterly. There is a price to pay for marrying this stubborn girl. He wonders if he should harden his heart. If he wants to woo Ying Ying, the hunting fair would be his best opportunity as Guanzongzi will be disregarding her. After the hunting fair, he will have to contend with Guanzongzi for her attention. Frankly speaking, he could not be bothered about Guanzongzi's antics. As these thoughts ran through his mind like a shooting meteor, Ying Ying hatefully exclaimed, "Xiang Xiaolong! Do you hate me a lot? Whenever I look for you, you are always so apprehensive and even use your leg injury as an excuse. Now, you can even perform your flying needle stunt in front of the crown prince. Now, the whole camp thinks that you are out to annoy me. How are we going to settle this debt?" Xiang Xiaolong realized that she had seen his exceptional flying needles and is now full of admiration for him. She may be putting on an aggressive front but is actually trying to mend fences with him. Thus, she came to find him alone without the rest of the female warriors. Xiang Xiaolong took 2 steps forward and reached an intimate distance with her. They are now so close he can hear her breathing. He smiled, "Fine. It is my fault. But my leg is really injured. If you don't believe me, I can take off my pants and show you." Ying Ying's face reddened immediately and she stomped her feet. "Who wants to see you without your pants? I want you to throw the flying needles again." Xiang Xiaolong was agonized and knew that he cannot match up to his earlier performance. He bitterly smiled, "When I threw the flying needles earlier, my wound reopened. Can we find some other things to do instead?" Ying Ying's attitude to him has indeed improved. She innocently asked, "What shall we do?" Xiang Xiaolong was inspired as he recalled her brother saying that the people of Qin are uncivilized barbarians who are more open-minded. His eyes cannot help but stray to her full bosom. He asked, "Where is your tent?" Ying Ying's face is burning red and she wailed, "What are you looking at?" She retreated half a step and her back is fully up against the tent. Xiang Xiaolong mocked, "Every man loves to look at the figure of a beautiful woman and Miss Ying need not overreact. At dawn, I am going to your tent to seek your forgiveness and this should give you enough face already." Ying Ying was delighted and stretched out her pinky, smiling, "You promise?" Xiang Xiaolong stretched out his own pinky and hooked onto hers. Admiring her large and attractive eyes, he cautioned, "You must not ambush me in your tent." HNG. Ying Ying knows that this man is eyeing her chest and yet she props her chest up even more and hissed, "Who wants to ambush you? Remember. If you do not show up, I will hate you for the rest of my life." Using his pinky, Xiang Xiaolong pulled Ying Ying towards him. Ying Ying let out a shrill cry and fell on him, and her pert breasts pressed against his muscular chest without any reservations. She was shocked and moved away hastily out of his bosom, but did not appear to be annoyed. She shot him a look and described, "My tent is to the west of the royal tent with a purple flag. There is a purple flower sewn on the door of the tent door. Do not forget." Smiling sweetly, she skipped away like a child. Xiang Xiaolong did not anticipate that their grievances can be so easily settled and was pleased. He guessed that the people of Qin love hunting fairs because it is also a good time to date as well. The main assembly ground is used for the Campfire Banquet. It is an outdoor dining concept with tents, defending gates, and defending walls surrounding it. Xiao Pan and Zhu Ji were the hosts of the banquet and took the northern seats. In front of them are 3 rows of 60-odd tables, and each table can seat 4 to 6 men. Torches were placed between each table, which adds to the atmosphere of the banquet. Wine was free-flowing and food is naturally their hunting prey. There are all kinds of barbecued and fragrant fowl meat and animal meat. Except for Lord Jailing and Tian Dan, who excused themselves, everyone from the royal family is present. Besides some special guests like Liu Danner, Ying Ying, Ji Yanran, etc., the remaining participants are the 10 best hunters. Ji Yanran, Wu Tingfeng, Zhao Ji, and Qin Qing are sharing one table, which caused Liu Gong to stare at their table occasionally. The younger men with less willpower are almost staring at them non-stop. Heading one of the rows is Prince Dan and Su Yizi, who chatted with Zhu Ji once in a while. Ji Yanran and the ladies are adopting a carefree attitude and disregarded the fact that they are the center of attraction. This is the first time Xiao Pan is hosting such a grand and unique banquet. He was fidgeting in his seat and his expression looked unnatural. But the most nervous man is Lao Ai, who is seated behind Zhu Ji. Zhu Ji had informed him that the Crown Prince will personally announce his promotion later. The most unfortunate man is Xiang Xiaolong. He was allocated to Liu Bui's table and was squeezed between Liu Bui and the heartless Liu Niangrong cum Guanzongzi. Moao is not invited as his status is not high enough, and it also suits his low profile. Everyone toasted Xiao Pan first before Liu Bui gave a welcome speech. Following that, Xiao Pan took the stand and announced the start of the banquet. Liu Bui toasted Su Xian and Liu Gong first before he sat down and commented to Xiao Pan, "I heard Crown Prince shot a condor earlier. This is a good omen. We shall enjoy a year of bountiful harvest and peace within the nation." Xiao Pan joyfully raised his cup, "Right, Premier, let me toast you." Liu Bui quickly drank up. Besides them, Xiang Xiaolong was cheering in his heart. Liu Bui's acting could have won him a Lifetime Achievement Award, while Xiao Pan could have won the Best Male Actor Award. After all, he will be the main leader during this era. Guanzongzi spoke out, "Will official Xiang perform his flying needle stunt again to honor the banquet hosted by the Crown Prince?" Xiang Xiaolong cursed secretly and turned his head around. He could sense intense awkwardness from Liu Niangrong, and he weakly smiled at her before telling Guanzongzi, "Mine is a lousy skill not worth mentioning. I have yet to see official Guan with his iron bow. Will official Guan fulfill my wish?" He laughed to himself. He is sure Guanzongzi will somehow display his talent and impress the people of Qin just like what he did with the flying needles. Guanzongzi laughed loudly, "As long as it is an order from official Xiang, I will not dare to disobey. If not for official Xiang's injury, I would love to spar with you and learn from an expert like yourself." From his words, Xiang Xiaolong is certain that he will show off his skill at the assembly ground after the dinner. Behind him, Liu Bui leaned over and instructed Liu Niangrong, "Niangrong, you must serve official Xiang well." Liu Niangrong batted an eye at Xiang Xiaolong and replied, "But official Xiang has not spoken to me yet." Liu Bui patted Xiang Xiaolong's shoulder and exclaimed, "Xiaolong, make her happy." Xiang Xiaolong can sense Zhu Ji, Ji Yanran, Qin Qing, and everyone else looking at them. Totally uncomfortable, he bitterly smiled, "I got it." Lu Bue and Guanzongzi began to chat among themselves and provided an opportunity for them to interact. Xiang Xiaolong looked at Lu Niangrong and she happened to look back. Xiang Xiaolong forcefully smiled. What did third mistress catch today? Initially, Lu Niangrong managed to force out a smile, but her face darkened when she faced his penetrating eyes. She lowered her head and shook it, replying, I am not in the mood to hunt today. Xiang Xiaolong thought that she is not so bad after all, as she is suffering from a guilty conscience. He wondered aloud, am I the one behind your bad mood? Lu Niangrong trembled slightly and raised her face, assessing him with a look of dilemma on her face. Under the illumination of the torch, Lu Niangrong looks youthful and charming. Her beauty can be compared to Ying Ying's, but her figure is not as good as hers. He sensed that something is amiss. Apparently, Lu Niangrong's eyes have turned red and she is crying. Even Lu Bue saw her crying and frantically exclaimed, Niangrong! Do you want to go back to your tent and rest? As Lu Niangrong unsteadily stood up, she attracted the attention of Zhu Ji, Xiao Pan, Qin Qing, Ji Yanran, Wu Tingfang, Zhao Ji, Lu Gong, and Su Xian. As the tears began to fall from her face onto her clothes, she wailed, I am not marrying him. Despite Lu Bue's coaxing, she ran off into the tents in the background after finishing her words. As the majority of the crowd is busy engaging in wine and revelry, not many people are aware of her outburst. The lively mood of the banquet is not affected by her disturbance. Lu Bue and Guanzongzi watched helplessly as she ran off into the darkness. Xiang Xiaolong is beginning to have a better opinion of her. She is not totally like her father, who can lie with his eyes wide open. At the same time, he concluded that she has some feelings for him. Lao Ai came over to invite Lu Bue on Zhu Ji's instructions. Lu Bue winked at Guanzongzi before he left. Guanzongzi is about to chase after Lu Niangrong when Xiang Xiaolong grabbed him and reasoned, let her go. Love cannot be forced. Guanzongzi was taken aback and returned to his seat, smiling bitterly, Official Xiang is right. Lu Bue came back to their table and sighed in a deep voice, we will postpone the wedding until further notice. Ai. Xiaolong. I do not know what to say. Xiang Xiaolong is secretly delighted but feigns sadness, Premier Lu need not fret. Hey! I wish. He wanted to find a reason to slip away from Lao Ai approached their table again, but it was Xiang Xiaolong he invited this time round. Xiang Xiaolong feared Zhu Ji the most and forced himself to go to her table. When he came to her, Zhu Ji plainly stated, Xiaolong need not pay his respects. Have a seat. Xiang Xiaolong sat down adjoining her and whispered, what instructions does Empress have? He noticed Lao Ai seated 5 feet behind Zhu Ji trying to listen to their conversation. The environment is quite noisy and he is sure Lao Ai cannot eavesdrop very well. Under Lao Ai's nourishment, Zhu Ji is like a brand new person and is even more enchanting than before. She slowly assessed him and sighed, Xiaolong. Both you and Zheng have changed. Xiang Xiaolong did not expect her to say these words. Shocked, he exclaimed, Empress. An irritated Zhu Ji scolded, I do not want to hear any hypocritical words from you. Ai. Are both of you blaming me? At the last sentence, she softened her tone and her words carried some tinge of helplessness. Xiang Xiaolong is filled with emotions. He knew that he can prevent her from being seduced by Lao Ai, but he cannot go against fate and allow himself to replace Lao Ai. That is why he did not succumb to her and allowed her to sink deeper into Lao Ai's love trap. Guilt-ridden, he was dumbfounded. Zhu Ji leaned closer and whispered, every time we did it, I imagined that I am doing it with you, understand? Xiang Xiaolong shook uncontrollably and cannot help but look up to her pretty face. Zhu Ji's eyes turned slightly red and she avoided his gaze. Recomposing herself, she calmly ordered, Commander Xiang, you are dismissed. Xiang Xiaolong was stunned for a moment before he returned to Lu Bue's table. Before he can say a word to the two men, Lu Danner and Ying Ying were holding each other's hands and skipped up to them. They insist on bringing Guan Zongzi to their table to compete on wine drinking, but their eyes were mainly fixated on Xiang Xiaolong. Guan Zongzi is not in the mood and evaded. I am been ordered by official Xiang to perform later. He faced Xiang Xiaolong and continued, if official Xiang does not want to see me screw up, he will have to substitute me in accepting the challenge of these two ladies. Xiang Xiaolong is afraid that Lu Bue will interrogate him on what Zhu Ji has said to him and laughed out loud. Official Guan is so eloquent. He turned around and left with the girls. Lu Danner is pleasantly surprised and happily pinched him, cooing, looks like you are a clever man. Shall we bury the hatchet? Xiang Xiaolong was amused that Ying Ying did not tell Lu Danner what had happened between them earlier. He winked at Ying Ying and is about to reply her when two men appeared and blocked their path. It was Lord Changwen and Jing Jun. Jing Jun smiled, are the two mistresses trying to make my third brother drunk? You have to challenge me first. The two ladies saw him with a wine flask in his left hand and a wine cup in his right hand. Stopping, they accepted, do you think we are afraid of you? Xiang Xiaolong did not expect Jing Jun to be so familiar with them and guessed that they have crossed paths before. Lord Changwen faced Xiang Xiaolong and smiled, has official Xiang received the red flower from Sister and Danner? The face of both girls immediately became red and they stared ferociously at Xiang Xiaolong. Lu Danner put her hands on her waist and wailed, what is the use of giving it to him? He is a useless cripple. Perplexed, Xiang Xiaolong questioned, what is the red flower? Jing Jun joked, you can give him the flower but I will represent him in doing the deed. Both girls started to laugh and protest. Their faces are thoroughly red and they looked even more enchanting under the illumination of the torches. Lord Changwen stepped forward and explained to Xiang Xiaolong, it is our Qin custom. During the hunting fair, an unmarried girl can present an embroidered red flower to a man she likes. The man can then visit her in her tent to spend the night. Hey! Now you understand. Xiang Xiaolong did not expect the Qin ladies to be so open-minded and was flabbergasted. He unconsciously shifted his gaze to the two ladies. Ying Ying stomped her foot and yelled, second brother, you are spouting nonsense. Lu Danner charmingly smiled, I have not decided who to give my flower to. Let's see what happens later. Xiang Xiaolong was visibly excited. The open-minded Qin girl is something the other 6 states can never offer. He smiled at Jing Jun, little Jun. Miss Danner is dropping you a big hint. Lord Changwen joked, so if your 5th brother gets the flower, are you performing the deed for him? Ying Ying and Lu Danner may be the butt of their jokes but did not mind them at all. They only coquettishly protest, which makes them even more interesting. Jing Jun loves to flirt with women and smiled, if I managed to get both red flowers from both ladies, I will leave Miss Ying to my 3rd brother and keep Miss Danner for myself. Ayo! Lu Danner sent him a kick. Jing Jun sprang up and flipped to the side. His 2 hands were still holding the wine flask and wine cup but not a single drop of wine has spilled. The other 4 persons were amazed at his agility. The banquet is still in progress and the 200-odd guests are still having a good time. Here, they are also having their own fun. This is the first time Lord Changwen had seen Jing Jun's skills and he breathes in heavily, based on this skill, Danner should give you her red flower. Lu Danner enthusiastically stared at Jing Jun, you monkey. Flip one more time for me. With a lazy and annoying look on his face, Jing Jun cheekily glanced at Lu Danner and joked, if you become a female monkey, I will become a male monkey and bring you to the trees and somersault non-stop. Lu Danner let out a war cry and rushed forward with 2 clenched fists. Jing Jun actually managed to drink his wine and avoided her blows at the same time. With Lu Danner hot at his heels, they soon disappeared among the tents. Xiang Xiaolong was moved. Jing Jun may not be a Qin native but he is a sworn brother of him and Wang Jian. Moreover, he holds a military post. Lu Gong may agree to let him date Lu Danner. Lu Danner is a teenage girl and it is a stage where she is very indecisive. She is interested in Guanzongzi because of his heroic air. If Jing Jun can humor her and with Lu Gong's support, coupled with their compatible age and their similar love for fun, they may eventually fall in love. This will prevent Guanzongzi from using Lu Danner to penetrate the influential circles of the Qin military. A bell was struck and everyone quietened down. The three persons stood still and listened to Xiao Pan's speech. Xiao Pan stood up and greeted the Empress. He then proclaimed the 10 best hunters to be promoted to the rank of captain with immediate effect. The 10 young men were overjoyed and hurriedly kneeled down, giving thanks to Xiao Pan and swearing their loyalty to him. Xiao Pan continued to announce a slew of promotions, including promoting Teng Sheng as the new outer custodian and Lao Ai as the inner custodian. Some officials felt that Lao Ai's promotion is undeserved. But looking at Empress Zhu Ji fawning over him and the lack of objections from Su Xian and Lu Gong, they accepted the changes reluctantly. It was followed by a showtime. First, Xiao Pan listed Lu Bui's achievements in conquering the 3 provinces and promoted him to become the new premier mentor. It is just a post without any authority. Needless to say, it was Li Si who prepared this speech for him. Although Lu Bui wields plenty of power in the Qin court, as long as the 2 influential men Su Xian and Lu Gong do not object, this promotion will be official. Finally, everyone toasted one another and the banquet came to a conclusion. Lord Chen Guen frantically excused him and rushed forward to escort Xiao Pan and Zhu Ji. Slightly fearful, Ying Ying retreated 2 steps and whined, "Remember what you promised." Xiang Xiaolong objected, "I take my word back. We have decided to reconcile but you flirted with another man in front of me. Now that he is gone, you are using me as a substitute." Ying Ying stomped her feet, "It is not what you see. I actually wanted to." "Ah! Who do you think you are? Why must I explain things to you?" Xiang Xiaolong saw that she was infuriated and she is beginning to cry. Beside them, everyone is leaving the banquet area. He softened and smiled, "All right. I surrender. I am fine with being a substitute." Ying Ying is so incensed she nearly wanted to draw her sword. She roared, "I said that you are not a substitute. I have always. Forget it. You try skipping our appointment." She turned around and stomped away. Xiang Xiaolong shouted, "What about the red flower?" Ying Ying increased her pace away from him. Xiang Xiaolong turned around and came face to face with Ji Yanran. The beauty batted an eye at him and sighed, "Hubby has regained his flirty ways." Xiang Xiaolong sighed and pulled her to one side, explaining the real reason behind Ying Ying's seduction. Ji Yanran sighed, "Hubby must be careful. Earlier, Guanzongzi has been paying close attention to all of you. He may try to sow discord between the 2 of you. After all, Ying Ying belongs to the royal family and Guanzongzi will only stand to benefit if he marries her." Xiang Xiaolong assured, "Since the demise of Princess Jian and the maids, I have lost my interests in girls and only hope to spend the rest of my life in peace with all of you. If Ying Ying chooses to marry Guanzongzi, so be it." Ji Yanran dragged him aside to avoid the men riding horses in their direction. She whispered, "Do you swear that you have no feelings for Sister Qin?" Xiang Xiaolong's face reddened, "Why did you bring her up?" Ji Yanran questioned, "Why did the 2 of you stay in the tent?" When she left, her face is thoroughly red and full of joy. Xiang Xiaolong bitterly smiled, "I speak normally. It is her skin which is too thin." Ji Yanran slightly whined, "Sister Qin is someone with lots of self-control. She is in love with you and that is why her skin has become thin." Xiang Xiaolong was stunned, "It is my fault. Ai. Why do I always get into this kind of trouble?" Ji Yanran smiled, "You are good-looking, kind-hearted and eloquent. Otherwise, I will not have been won over by your antics and become your wife." Xiang Xiaolong laughed, "How dare you say I use antics to seduce you? I am not going to let you off." Ji Yanran charmingly giggled, who needs you to let me off? Xiang Xiaolong was aroused and cheerful Jing Jun happened to come back. He laughed, the night performances are about to begin. Our third brother and third sister going to stay here and enjoy each other's company. In the midst of laughter and scolding, the three people walked towards the defending gates. Xiang Xiaolong took this chance to ask him about Lu Danner. Jing Jun happily recalled, this lass is really tchy. Even after I molested her, she still came after me. Finally, I protected my head and allowed her to trash me. She may have a fearsome look on her face and her blows are definitely controlled to avoid hurting me. So exciting! As Xiang Xiaolong waved to acknowledge everyone around them, he reminded, to win her heart, you must take advantage of these 2 days. Do you understand? Jing Jun nodded his head vigorously and instantly disappeared into the crowd in an unknown direction. Behind him, Xiang Xiaolong and Ji Yanran could not help but break out into smiles.